Jesus Christ, kiddos. I'm not even going to front with you. You're not getting a cute little intro. You know it's a recapitation. You can see it in the title. You came to my page, you clicked the video, you're here. Do you know how much work it was to get here? Different apps, Chrome updates, phone updates. I'm recording on a cell phone right now because everything is going wrong. Am I saying too much?
When's a good time to tell you that I'm also drunk?
How are you? I'm doing really well. And welcome to another episode of Recapitation, where we dig through the ditches, burn through the witches, but don't lose your head, because we're talking about Dragula season 666. And we have the black and white monsters from the retro times when Drac was just a young 30-year-old in the 20s. And if we're going to talk about monsters that are iconic, if we're going to talk about monsters that are earth-shatteringly, devastatingly beautiful, who else am I going to bring? She's a fairy. She's a huntress. She is just an incredible person, despite how she looked on television. It's Satanna.
Okay, bitch. That last part was a little rude. I thought you were gonna introduce yourself.
Oh. No, I said
Hi.
huntress, not clown.
Right, right. Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
Satanna, how are you?
Fabulous. Struggling with some technological issues, but we're here and I'm excited to discuss this new episode and, wreak some havoc and stuff and all of that and such
You're a
as
woman in slay. You're not a woman in STEM, and that's okay.
duh.
What is new with you? The Boulets just gave you a shout out, and I think it was more than deserved because you truly have looked incredible, been traveling, performing, holding it down in LA. It looks like everything's incredible for you, and I'm jealous.
I can't lie to you. It has been incredible. I can't lie to you. It's been good. It's been good. I feel like coming off of the show, like they really like spoke some truth because I really did like transform. Like I don't know where it came from, but it just sort of like happened. I think like going through that whole process, like they said, it really like pushed me out of off of the bridge or whatever it is that they said.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, it just like sparked something in me and then just like all of these changes that I had been wanting to make in my life. I made them, and then it was like in a short amount of time too. So I think people were kind of gagged to see me,
Yeah.
a couple months later, looking different, feeling different, performing different. Like everything's just like different, like in a good way, in a good way.
How are you liking Dragula season 666 so far?
I have been really like actually loving it. Like I don't know why people expect me not to like this new season, but like it's been so good. Like I didn't know there's just like new life in the show and like watching it like from the other side of things is like kind of crazy. But I feel like there's like new obviously it's like new blood. So everything just like feels different. It feels more vibrant. Like not to like I don't know, it's a little better than our season, not gonna
Hey, hey, hey,
lie.
hey, 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 hey. You're right, but we
It,
don't have to say it. Satana, are you ready to get into episode 6 of the Boulet Brothers Dragula season 6?
if we have to.
Yeah, you do. After everything you
Okay,
put me through to get here, you sure do.
let's dive in.
We open up on this new episode. The Boulets sit in their tiny itty bitty little chairs and announce what we're doing. And then we immediately get back into the Cauldron. And they're already talking about strategy and alliances. It's driving me insane. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? You walk in there like, well, I'm coming for you. I'm going to take you out. Like, no. The Boulet brothers are going to take all of you out except for one. You have no say.
That has been my biggest thing about like the game talk. Like I appreciate the spectacle of it and like the alliances and like all of that. Again, I they don't really make the decisions in that way unless they're voting. Back to the previous episode where they had the opportunity to vote someone like, you know, who did the Gray or Asia. They wanted to put them in the wait, was it Asia or who was in the bottom?
It was Gray and Auntie. They were talking about putting in the bottom.
Gray and Anti. They didn't end up doing it. So it's like the game that is being played is kind of unclear, and it's just the Boulets game, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a little confusing because I'm trying to figure out like what's the game that's happening. You know what I mean?
No, it's like they keep talking about a game. I wasn't invited. Like I'm
I mean,
standing outside of the house while they're playing a game that I do not understand.
girl, I was at a gig, I was booked. I don't know what's going on. I kind of live for it. Like it's fun. It's like a fun thing to do. But yeah, I just don't see it paying off in like any big way.
No,
Fun
no,
to watch, but also that's the thing. It's like I want it to pay off. Like I was living for the moment in the Cauldron when they were all talking amongst each other about who they should put in the bottom. I thought it was about to get real juicy, real exciting. So when it didn't happen, it was kind of like it was kind of like you know, like when you're about to come and then it kind of like
they're edging
dissipates
us.
for 1
They
second.
edged us with
Yeah.
grandeur.
Yes, they did. And so I don't know. I'm like, you kind of have to deliver now with all this like game talk. I don't know.
No, that I haven't even thought about it that way. You are exactly right. Like I love the game talk, the strategy talk, but to what end? To what end?
To what end? To what end?
But let's talk about the diva that is Asia Consent. Ah,
Oh,
I live for her. And they can't come for her. And that's the thing. It's like she can kind of say whatever she wants because she is so puss and she is so cunt. So it's just like she's standing there like so confidently, like body tea, mug tea, like just like attitude tea, like everything is tea. So like these people, they can't come for her. You know what I mean? So
no.
she has license to kill.
Like they're
So
letting Asia Consent. While they're talking about strategy, Asia Consent is dog walking them to the finale.
shit. Hey, it's been a good season.
So they get scurried over to the big TV screen where we see our lovely aunties decide to announce the challenge this week. And this week they have to create monochromatic monsters based on early horror icons in the black and white movie sphere, like Nosferatu and the other one that they mentioned.
Yeah, Hereditary.
For this challenge, where does your head go? What would you do as a monochromatic monster?
I would just do Coco's mummy from Titans, and that's it.
Like,
No, but like
you're like the original mummy. I'm like, no. I'm Coco's mummy.
I'm Coco's mummy from Titans episode 1, honey.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think like my initial response is a vampire, something really classic. I don't know. This one kind of stumped me. Like I think it would be kind of difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
Without it being too basic. Like that's what I would be worried about is like if my concept was too basic. A clown is also something that like came to mind, but like this season is the season of clowns.
I think you remember Abora in the Weird Wild West on season 2?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would go something down that route. I know they said movies, but I would want to go like 20s black and white animated and like do full prosthetics to like alter the shape of my head, give me these like big blacked out eyes, and do like these giant cartoony proportions. And I think that would be really fun because there were some horrifying cartoons back then. In fact,
All
all
of
of
those
them
things
were
sound
horrifying.
like you already.
Huh?
I said all of those things sound like you already. Out of drag.
But before we can get into the monochromatic monsters, they have a fright feat. And what they have to do for their fright feat is they have to use an arrangement of makeup used by insert name here because I don't remember.
Patrick
One of the
Star.
original makeup icons. So we're talking old school, rotted, gutted, never seen this before type shit. And they have to beat their mug and do full face with prosthetics with this ancient bullshit. And
Mm-hmm.
they all kind of look like they do anyway. Am I crazy for saying that?
Not crazy rude, but not crazy.
I did relate very heavily to them when Aurora was talking about how everyone is just spitting in this makeup to make it work. And like you just cuts to them like,
I know. I was like, why is this TV worthy? Like everyone does this, do they not?
everyone does this. No, what I was gonna say is our season, I asked the producer, hey, can I just get a bottle of water to mix this? They said yes. And then a full 45 minutes went by, and I tried to get up, and then one other producer was like, no, you have to stay here, we're filming. I'm like, okay.
Well, girl, they gotta go bottle the water themselves.
Huh?
Not you being entitled. Not you being a diva. Right. No, but girl, they had to go forest the water. Forest the water. Catch the water, bottle it, bring it to you.
Wait, how did they catch the water?
What did I say? Forage? No, forest. No. Obtain the water. I don't know.
They all looked passable. But apparently none more passable than Passable Pie, and Pie is the winner of the Fright feat and gains the power to blind someone while they are getting ready and getting in drag, which is crazy, by the way.
It was pretty crazy. I was like, okay, like when are the big moves coming? And I'm surprised, like Pie picked Gray, the threat. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was like afraid that Pie was gonna pick someone who maybe, I don't know, it would have been wasted on.
But not, honestly, in my mind, not strategic. Pie picks Gray Matter to be blind while they get ready, which I think, to put this as nicely as possible, is so dumb. Because
Elaborate.
Gray Matter is a special effects makeup artist. And yes, that takes precision and like application is difficult, but it doesn't take the same kind of like small detail precision that a lot of makeup does. If you wanted to take someone out, I think it would have to be a makeup diva like Asia Consent, who has 2 wins and always has a very precise beat mug. Throw that wrench at her.
This is true, but they are in a alliance or whatever, so like she wasn't gonna choose her. And
Also
I just don't think. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. We're just hypothesizing. I don't know, girl.
Well, that's what this is about. It's about us talking about things we know nothing about, and people listen for some reason.
That's what this is? I'm on board.
Yay. They start getting ready, and when I tell you, they look fucking crazy. I have never seen a pre-floor show makeup montage that looked so chaotic.
I think it happened so fast, and I was like so fixated on like what was to come that I just didn't really even pay attention to that. I mean, everyone always looks crazy during those shots.
Like a little bit, but like as a drag artist, you can see where they're building, you can see where they're going, you can see what they're doing. It looks like makeup. Everyone, with the exception of like Jaharia, had full raccoon blackout eyes and blacked out mouth, and that was it. I'm like, what's going on? But, it makes sense later, but
that's the magic of Dragula. That is the magic of Dragula. Every time we had to do those like fake or not fake, like getting ready, whatever, I would fake it because I was like, I just don't have it in me to like. I don't know. Like I need to glue down my eyebrows. I need to put on my moisturizer. I need to put on my primer. I need to let that dry. So it's like that's not TV worthy. You know what I mean?
How much black water activated paint are you allowed to put on your face before it's considered blackface?
I am not the person to answer this question. I can simply listen and observe and learn.
Oh, and as an added bonus, every single one of the cast members has to create silent film slidicles, spectaslides, whatever they're called, about their monster characters and present them in the floor show. I just wanted to say I said it. I can't read, so I didn't pay attention much to that part.
Slidicles is what you said?
They had a name, and I don't remember what they are.
It's obvious. Hello. Like, everyone knows.
Well,
everyone knows it. I don't have to repeat it because everyone knows. You're the only person who doesn't know the name of the thing. So. Okay, I don't know it either. Jesus.
Up
Love
next,
her.
we're going to get into the floor show, into the looks. And before we do that, let's get into the guest judges because this is a truly star-studded episode for the guest judges. First of all, we'll finish with the best. We have Mike Flanagan, incredible director, made some of my favorite series, Haunting of Hill House, Fall of the House of Usher. I love Mike Flanagan, and I was eliminated before I got to be judged by him. So that's fine.
Wasn't he the judge on episode 1? He put us in the bottom.
PTSD, I don't remember. And our
I
other
lost the
guest
plot.
judge is, that's all. That's the only way I can describe her. It's just
Oh,
it's Violet fucking Chachki.
which, if she was a guest judge for like our season, I would have shit my pants.
Shit.
Like that's so scary.
No, that is terrifying. I'm glad she wasn't around for us. I don't want to hear what she has to say about me. Just
Exactly.
the fact that I know that she's looking at me is an insult enough that I would dare to look like this in front of her.
Right. I mean, I don't feel that way particularly, but yeah.
But we're going to get into the floor show. And since we are now arriving, we're halfway through the season. I think we're reaching a point where we can comfortably actually get into and talk about everybody's floor show one by one. And this one was
a mixed bag.
easy.
It was a mixed bag. It was interesting. I liked it.
I'm gonna like positivity sandwich this and just start strong with Gray Matter.
Bitch. When I tell you, I think genuinely, like I think this might be one of my top 3 Dragula looks like ever. It was so striking. Like just like the way that everything was structured. I love that he incorporates his little this is kind of like a little Gray Matter like nod, like with the black and white like ribbing thing that he does. I really was so confused when he walked out with the hands like this, and then the wings come up. Got me, gal.
You and Drac both.
I was shocked. I literally was sitting by myself and I reached for someone. I went, like it was so gaggy. And then just to be on the stilt, forget about it.
They should have made you guys lip sync. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Okay.
Up next, we have. I'm just making this up. Let's go with Anti-Heroine.
Oh wait, I'm doing it. The little pinchers. I thought it was puss. I thought it was fierce. I really enjoyed it. I thought the pinchers, like when she first came out, I wasn't sold immediately. I thought it was a cool outfit. I was a little confused, but then when she pulled the pinchers out, it was super effective for me. I loved it. I thought it was cool, and her body's always so right, and just the way that she moves is like, it's just like puss, and she like commands the stage, and it's just like I love a mover, and she just like moves so effortlessly and like with poise and with grace. I'm kind of enamored by her.
You remember, that meme that's like,
at first it was fun, then scary, then fun again, then spooky, but in a fun way.
That's kind of how I felt about this look. She came out with the silhouette and the pincers, and I was like, I love it. And then they turned all the lights on and I saw more of it. I was like, I don't love the materials. I don't love that it's like, if you're going to be this like bug creature Slender Man thing, be the bug creature Slender Man thing.
I thought it was great. And also I thought it was like original, Like I would never have thought to have that sort of like gown with the sort of like McQueen mask and crown, and then like to have the pinchers, like that's, I don't know, it's kind of like left of center for me. So I think it's a little bit original, don't you?
Well, is it original because it's a fresh idea, or is it original because it makes no sense?
Why can't it be both?
Up next, we're going to go swing on over to Aurora Gosmic.
Love my sister.
She's so pretty.
She's so pretty. A cool concept. I do agree with Violet with the shoe, or the lack of the shoes.
Because Violet, Violet was on her A game that entire time. And I'm like, out of everyone in that cast, if you told me that Violet Chachki would show up and read Aurora Gosmic, I wouldn't believe you. I wouldn't have believed you. But she showed up and said, I didn't care for the shoes. Is that paper mache? I can tell. A sandal with
That gagged me. A sandal with a heel. A
A
sandal with a heel. Yeah. Yeah. Sandal with a heel. I mean, that's all I can really say.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunate.
I could say
because
more.
she was just like, on this crazy trajectory.
Yeah.
But shit happens. Maybe she forgot her shoes. I don't know.
Honey, she's not a prosthetic artist. I'm sure she was just like, I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna make it work, and it still looked pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I thought the look was like, in general, I thought it was a good look.
But for someone like Aurora Gosmic, known for glamour, won a glamour challenge, looked incredible that week. I would have loved to see just like an old vampire like succubus. Like, do the prosthetics, get some like big katana teeth, but like make it beautiful and like flowing and Victorian, all in black and white. I think that would have been sickening for her.
I think her mummy from the first episode would have been really great in this challenge, but like in
Yes.
the monochromatic color scheme. I think that look would have been perfect for this. A sandal with the heel.
I saw Violet Chachki tell Aurora Gosmic to wear a sandal with a heel, so I went out and bought sandals with heels. Let's take a little trip down under and go to Yuri. Bitch.
Yes. I think that Yuri got like no screen time this episode. Like, I think Yuri spoke once.
Yuri showed up to say, I got fat and my outfit didn't fit, and then left.
Girl, if I had a nickel. If I had a fucking nickel.
I don't think Yuri got enough praise for this look. I see where they're coming from by saying like it's not horror, it's not like it wasn't scary. I thought it was. There was something very like Junji Ito, unsettling manga, like that kind of scary. It's not like in your face ripping bodies apart, but it is an unsettling, like beautiful white rose creature. And I loved it.
Yeah. It was giving me like 20s, like industrial, Deadly Nightshade, like Hellraiser even. I thought it was really, really cool. It was really effective. Like when the camera was zooming in like this, and it was like all of the petals and like the shit that she had on her face, like I thought it was so cool.
I will say, like trend alert, like across, I think almost all of the looks, it's like they all forgot that we're gonna see their waist down. Like it was a lot of looks that just like, okay, well it's a skirt. Okay, well it's a pair of pants. Like, well it's a bodysuit. I'm like, the rest of the look matters. A lot looked great from the waist up, and then I just feel like so many of them forgot the other half exists.
I also do think it's like harder to. Well, I don't think it's harder. I just think maybe pulling the monochromatic into the bottom of the looks was sort of like an afterthought for some of them. You know what I mean? They thought if I do it all up here and it's like all doing all this, people won't really notice like the pant or like whatever. But I agree with you.
All right. Up next, we're going to get into the sweet, savory stylings of pie.
Oh, I'm channeling a little bit of pie right here.
Feathers?
With the little feather things that they had on their whatever it was. Yeah, little feather claws or whatever.
I'm going to be crazy.
Be crazy, please.
I loved it. As a concept, execution lost me a little, but I think overall it was effective.
I think for this one, I think I would have loved something bigger on the bottom, like just to like tie it all together, like back to what we were just saying. I thought that the headpiece and the gloves were really effective. I got the story. It was a little airtay. Like I love the design of it. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I just wish there was something to look at on the bottom.
No, and like I will say, I think it was effective, like as a shadow, as a silhouette, like as a creature with the feathers and the motion. But then once they zoomed in on Pai's big headpiece, it looked very flat. I would have loved to pull in like a gloss or something on that fabric that made the eyes shine a little bit, made the teeth shine a little bit, like a vinyl. Just to like add a little more depth to it, because when you got up to just the face, it was effective from far away, but then you kind of realize, well, it's just fabric.
Wait, let me ask you something. Was that what the rest of the costume was supposed to be, like a shadow? Was it supposed to be like the darkness and like, was that what it was supposed to be? I don't know.
Up next, we're gonna get into Asia Consent. She can do no wrong to me.
Love.
She can do no wrong to me.
Love.
But it happened again where I'm like, do I get it? No. Do I immediately understand what you're going for? No. Do I like looking at it? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, same. I kind of understood like the general concept. I didn't understand the tentacle part. But like, you can't come for it. You know what I mean? Like the headpiece was so cool. The details on the headpiece were so cool. Like her face is always just fucking beat. Like that style of makeup, she really is like has branded herself as like doing that style because it is so unique. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone utilize like the line work and the stuff that she does the way that she does it. So
like,
shout out to her.
Brain, look at your face and just see like, I'm gonna do this. It's crazy to me. I don't understand it.
Especially because she is so beautiful, like out of drag, that like it's easy to like put makeup on and just be like beautiful and stunning. It's like a different part of your brain that like shifts your face from just pretty and beautiful to like something else. And she does it so well. I like really respect the way that she does her makeup. So shout out to her.
I agree with the notes that maybe she needs to edit, maybe she needs to have a little more clarity in the looks, whatever. But
I would rather have more than not enough.
Exactly.
I would rather be like, oh my God, that's a lot, rather than just being like, nah.
Yeah. Okay, last and kind of least, it's Jahavria.
She was a bat or a moth?
I thought she was an
She was a bat. Oh.
She was a gorilla.
Oh.
It wasn't
for me. It was a little beige. It was a little beige. I thought it reminded me a little bit of her first look, the creature look from the Black Lagoon. It reminded me a little bit of that.
But you know what's fucked up?
What?
Okay, I have a theory. I have a like, what's it called? When you're crazy. I have a conspiracy theory. So that first day rolls around. They show up. And Yuri is pulling out this crushed velvet bat look. And Jahavria is looking at her shit and being like, well, I was going to be a crushed velvet rat or bat. And immediately pivots. And then she's like, okay, well, I can't wear that. So then she pulls out her black and white. It was literally a black and white creature from the Black Lagoon look. And just puts that on instead and is like, I'll figure it out. Either of them can work. And that's why she ended up wearing the bat for this instead.
Wait, because you're actually kind of making a little bit of sense.
Runway was literally black and white from head to toe.
You're making a little bit too much sense.
No, I'm going to literally add the math and add the things because it's not adding up.
Who has her phone number?
We will never know because she's not allowed to tell us, but I have ideas.
You're right. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I thought that the makeup, like the shade of the makeup with the shade of the suit, really kind of took me out of it and threw me off.
I think a lot of the problem was that she stopped looking like a monster, and with the proportion of the big fur headpiece, she just looked adorable.
She did look so cute. She did. She did.
I was like,
I just like wanted to hold her.
I just want to give her a hug.
I just like wanted to hold her like a little baby.
Just like one of those little baby bats.
Oh, I wanted to feed it a bottle, and then like put it right here and like burp it, like burp her. Just me? Oh my god.
So we get through the floor show. Who were your favorites? If you had to pick one or two.
Gray Matter and Asia.
I completely agree with you. For almost the sheer reason that they were the only two, in my opinion, that gave me something gaggy from head to toe.
I feel like at this point, like if I was in a competition and they kept just fucking nailing every fucking challenge, I would just, I don't even know, just eat my feelings, I guess, and then bust my costume like Yuri.
So who would you put in the bottom? Who were your least favorite looks this week?
I think I would agree with the bottom two. Although I think I agree with the bottom two. Unfortunately, those are my girls, but I think just in terms of placement with everyone else, yeah, I also agree with the judges.
Yeah.
Which doesn't always happen, but I think in
No.
this episode, it rarely happens. But I think in this episode, I was kind of like, I get it.
I would have rather seen Pi in the bottom three than Yuri.
I agree with you.
Like,
I was only doing the bottom
look
two.
is more effective.
I agree with you. I agree with you in that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. That being said, let's full tilt. Shall we go for it?
What?
We're going to talk about the Cauldron. This Cauldron, I think a lot of times, Dragula specifically has been accused of manufacturing drama, or like they don't seem very authentic. Aurora versus Jaharia, baby, that was real.
That was real shit. They were both like, and I know that feeling. They were just like, bitch, you're standing in my way of me being here. You know what I mean?
And what I think is interesting is that up until this point, Aurora has had like a lot of ups and downs in the competition and has verbally sparred with like Scylla and Desiree. Both are big personalities, very loud, but they just kind of like scream without thought. Aurora kind of met her match in Jaharia.
No, the way that she was just sitting there, just like like I said, she wasn't over emotional. She wasn't like frantic in her arguments. Like it was just like, she was really shutting it down. That was that quiet confidence that I appreciate about someone, is that like, no, I know my tea. I know what I bring. You know what I mean? And I don't need to get loud. I don't need to get overly defensive. I don't need to throw a drink or whatever. I appreciated that moment, because Jaharia is that girl.
But then here comes anti-heroine. I'm like, okay, guys, remember, this is out of our hands. The Boulets decided. Okay, let's break this down. Anti-heroine, you just said we can't control this. It's in the Boulets' hands. Then why the hell are we all talking about alliances?
And the game. This elusive game.
I'm like, there it is. From anti-heroine's mouth, you have no control. So shut up.
Let the girls argue. More time to drink. You know what I mean?
No, the Cauldron is so annoying because if you don't talk enough, you don't care. If you talk too much, you're being erratic. There is no way to win. But I think Jaharia got the closest you can to winning the Cauldron.
Right. And I'll do it again.
And I'll do it 12 times.
13.
Honey.
We've come a long way.
For their Extermination, they're bringing back a season 4 Extermination where they have to be vacuum sealed against a wall and cannot breathe. What would you be able to do this?
I don't want to do it with someone else. I don't want your hot breath like up in my face. You know what I mean? Like that's what trips me out. Like the lack of oxygen, sure, but like this bitch hot breath like in my fucking face. Like I don't want that. That's scary to me. Bitch, imagine like I don't know. You guys are both in drag all day. Probably had some like nachos or like I don't know, hot dog for lunch or something. Then you got to get in this machine with this girl, and she's over here breathing in your face, and that's all you can smell. Goodbye, goodbye.
My
All those
favorite thing
stomach
is that
starts.
you are now implying that Jaharia and Aurora have hot ass breath.
I can just assume.
This one, they
Hmm.
have a button. They can press that button and I'm free. So I feel like I would be okay, if not a little aroused.
I was gonna say, would you tuck? I would tuck. I would have to tuck. Oh my God, it'd
Well,
be so
I don't.
embarrassing.
When do I ever talk?
That one time, I think it was like a couple years ago.
No.
Oh wait, that wasn't you.
But ultimately, Jaharia will live to be a fuzzy,
Slay.
fuzzy little beige bat another day. And after a tumultuous, like a wildly up and down, iconic season, an iconic run, we are losing Aurora Gosmic. I cannot I cannot speak highly enough. I fucking love Aurora. As a TV personality, as a drag artist, as a Dragula monster, she was everything to me.
I love her. I love her. I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss her. I really am such a big fan of her.
Go make sure you go follow Aurora. Make sure you go support Aurora out in Chicago. Hell, while you're there, support Auntie and Scylla too. Well, that is episode 6 of season 666. How many times can I say 6 in one sentence? We'll find out. Satanna, I have to ask you, who do you think is going to win? We're over halfway through. Who is your front runner?
So I'm gonna say Asia. I think Asia's gonna take it. And if not Asia, I think Gray. Um, yeah, but I think Asia's my top pick right now.
Who do you think needs to be worried? Who needs to step their pussies up before they come back next week?
Well, it was Jahari's first time in the bottom. So like I think I would be worried if I came back from that. Um, I think Yuri should be a little bit worried just because she keeps getting put in the bottom. I don't understand why sometimes, but yeah, I would say like maybe like Yuri and Jaharia. Um, because it seems like Pie's doing pretty good. Yeah, I would say Yuri and Jaharia.
I agree with you that I think Jaharia needs to be worried, not because she's doing poorly, but I can't help but draw parallels. She's getting a very Cynthia Doll style edit where it's like you always do well. You're 7
Hmm.
episodes in and you've always done good.
Hmm.
But you don't have the win yet, and that's when I think people need to start being worried about like, what do I need to do to get this? And Cynthia went home on next episode 7.
Mm.
Satanna, where can the people find you? Where can the people find you? What are you up to? What can you tell us about your life? Give it to us. Give it to us.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Hail Satana. Lots of like actually really exciting shit is coming up. I can't really talk about a lot of it because like contracts and like NDAs and stuff. But no, seriously, really fun shit coming up. I'm gonna be everywhere, I think. Hopefully. It's 2025. Traveling again and like coming to your towns, doing little shows. And yeah, you can always catch me in LA. I'm always popping around. You can come go to Precinct every night. I'm there pretty much.
Satanna, thank you again for being here. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're beautiful.
Ah, say it again.
No. And thank you for being here with Recapitation as we dig through the ditches, burn through the witches, but don't lose your head. Talking about the Boulet Brothers Dragula, season 666. That's it. We have more twists, more turns, more alliances that mean literally nothing. Coming up next week. Don't forget to tune in. And as always, drive home safe. Don't laugh at me. I've made it a thing. There's just liquids
Oh,
flowing from every orifice. Like this eye is
ew.
tearing, this contact is dry. My nose is like I have a post-nasal drip from
The puss, though, wet.